do with the it doesn't has no. It's just for fun. There's no real point to its gesturing. But there's a couple items we're gonna pick up early on in the game before we get going here. So this is the Firekeeper. She doesn't talk, but she keeps this whole area running, safe from monsters, I guess. Which is kind of cool. Be wary of Liar. People can leave messages in this main section of the game, and, by the way. And basically, they're hints, or sometimes people can be screwing around with you and they'll give you a false clue. I've gotten a few of those before. But most of the time, people are pretty helpful. And if you can rate them with this special item that you can get. You can rate them or create your own messages, and it will give you special kudos, points and items and things like that. When you leave a good tip and things like that.
Well, this is unusual. You haven't lost your head. And more importantly, you're free. How on earth? Well, I shouldn't pry. I'm Rickett of Vinheim. I was once an established smith, though. Look at me now. Can you believe it?
So this guy's a blacksmith, and he can make some things and repair your items and stuff.
Oh, no. Don't worry.
So he's our go-to guy for now, and later on I'll get a few more people.
Can't bear the thought of going hollow out there. Although, I must admit, I've not much to occupy myself.
That can...
How about this? I could forge your weapons, albeit with rather minimal tools. I'll show you what made me the best in Vinheim.
Sure. Let's repair my equipment. You can also reinforce your equipment, make it stronger. Same with armor. Let's see what he has for sale. And he has Sorcerer's Catalyst. But I'm not going to be building any magic on this build because it's mainly faith. And that's one of the stats that you will need pretty high on a Sun Knight.
Goodbye then. Keep your head on out there. You really help break the monotony.
I'm gonna kick this guy off. Later. So with the master key I can open this door, which is actually a shortcut into the Valley of the Drakes. The Valley of the Drakes is actually a area that's much further in the game, much further down the road in the game, but since I have the master key I can be here and pick up a couple items that I shouldn't normally be able to have earlier on in the game, and they'll be quite useful. And they're right next to this huge ass dragon. Check this out. Holy crap. It's a sleeping dragon. So I'm gonna try and walk around him and take these items before he wakes up. Normally he'd be able to kill you in like one shot though. Holy crap! Oh! And yes, he did. He killed me in one shot! But I did get the items, and that's what matters. So the items that I picked up from that, first one is called the Astoria's Street Sword, and it's basically a sword that scales off faith. And faith is one of the attributes that I'm going to be boosting anyway for this build. So that's why it's really helpful to have that. And it was also guarding the Dragon Crest shield, which is a decent shield, and it has really strong fire defenses, so it's really good for the first little bit. Just because a lot of the enemies will be using like fire bombs and fire-based attacks, and it's much better than my east-west shield, simply because it blocks. It says that under damage reduction, it blocks 100% of physical damage done by enemies. So when I block, I won't lose any life if it's a purely physical attack, and that's really helpful for the first little bit of the game. So now that I have the items that I need from there. Oh, actually there were some items. There's a couple items I didn't get from down there that I should have. This pretty good jousting sword called a stock that I should have too. Let's bring this elevator back up here. So the stuff I'm doing right now is just basically things to get me geared up nice and early in the game, so I won't have to grind as much later on. There's that item. Here we go, this stock. That's what I needed. This is also an area that I could probably do a little bit later in the game. But because since there's no boundary saying that, oh yeah, this is not a newbie area, a lot of people often come down here by mistake and just find out that enemies are just way too difficult. Firelink Shrine. The Firelink Shrine is kind of like your home base, I guess, for now. As you can see. Can I use this stuff? It requires 12 dexterity, which I do not have currently. That sucks. Because it is a good weapon. Very good weapon. So there are a couple items here that I can still get in this starting area before I move on to the first main area of the game, first stages. Some souls here. That's a drop that some people often overlook because they're like, oh my gosh, what if it's a pit? So there's a couple items here. Cracked red eye orb. That lets me invade other people's worlds. And Morning Star. Is it better than my mace? No, it's not. But it makes people bleed, I believe. Or something like that. Homeward Bone. Homeward Bone is pretty useful, so I'm gonna make it one of my main items. basically brings me back to the last fireplace that fireplace that I rest at. Lloyd's Talisman. Okay, so there's this area here where there's these regenerating skeletons that I can't actually kill right now because I'm such a low level. But what I'm gonna do is what's called a suicide run. Basically, I'm just gonna run through, grab all the cool items that I can possibly grab, and probably die. But the great thing about the game is that even if you die, you get to keep all the items that you've picked up. Ow. Oh, I'm dead. So yeah, that's a huge ass skeleton, and I am not supposed to be able to beat it early on. But since I get to keep all the items I pick up, just like with the dragon, get to kind of abuse the system and get some pretty cool starting gear. Most of the items I'm picking up from here I won't be able to actually use at the moment since I don't have the stats for them, but it'll be helpful to have them for down the road. Wing spear. The wing spear is actually a really good weapon as well. Binoculars. Alright, cool. Oh god. Yee! I am so stuck! Oh, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm so dead. Oh. Okay, so I think I've got everything that I need from this kind of starting area that I can start moving on to the main area. So the first place we're going to is the Undead Church, where the first bell is that I have to ring. There's this really tricky guy throwing firebombs up there, and that's where the shield comes in handy. Ha! I kick you! Ow, ow. Yeah. Oh, he already fell. Spartan kick. Yeah. Oh, I can parry that. That sucks. So this wasn't actually really well explained in the tutorial, but you can run and make sort of like a running leap. That's how you make it over some of these pits. So it's a ring of sacrifice. I'm not going to put that on because basically what it does is if you die with the ring on, then you don't lose anything. And it's really good if you've got like a character carrying a lot of loot.